It's Hella Weird Video with your host, Max Road, the video hunting shark, rewinding tapes, checking out trailers, and getting rid of videos we no longer want nor need. Let's talk recent pickups. And we got a lot. You cannot call yourself a video collector and you don't have sex, lies, and videotapes. What can I say about that movie that hasn't already been said? Nothing, because I cannot remember the movie. I think I didn't like it. Pretty sure I didn't like it. I didn't like the sex. I didn't like the lies. The only thing I liked was the videotapes. War Games, CBS Fox. I believe I already have War Games. Well, I know I have the Laserdisc. I believe I have the VHS, but like a later release. But this is the original release of War Games. If you're wondering, behind me, I'm watching Earthquake. Not a fan, but I couldn't pass it up because it was only $1.50 on Laserdisc. Those 1970 disaster movies, everyone's sweaty. They look like they stink, and the effects are very generic. But you got to give respect to those films, because a lot of manpower went into making those 1970s disaster movies. They bore me. I grew up on these movies, you know. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. In the 80s and into the 90s, these disaster movies were like, we didn't have a bunch of options. There weren't Final Destinations out yet, you know. Across the way on my Magnavox, I'm watching 9 to 5. I'm working 9 to 5. I wish I could go to the range and shoot my 45, but I'm stuck in this spot. We got Dogtown, Z-Boys. Skateboarders don't need my respect. They don't need my input whatsoever, but I got on the skateboard a couple years back and rode for a solid year and a half to 2 years, and I took my falls. I live in San Francisco. I didn't take huge hills, but I took some hills, and the little baby hills that I rode down, I was able to master. There's one outside of my house that, to the left, the hill is like this, and I was like, I can do it. But to the right, the hill is like this, and I thought I could never do it. And then one day, after taking hills that were like this, a little bit, more inverted, hopped on the board confidently and was like, I know I can do it. And I did it. And I rode the board a few more, probably another couple months after I conquered that hill. And I said, before I, maim myself, before I'm horrifically injured, I'm going to dismantle this board and never ride again. But then, like I said, in the process of me learning how to skateboard, I already knew how to skateboard, just taking more extreme, doing more extreme things on the board completely respect skateboarders. I didn't disrespect them before, I just didn't understand them. This is one of my favorite movies right here. As a collector of, be it comic books, VHS tapes, laser discs, or like our guy Stanley in this film. Is it Stanley? Is that his name? It's one of my favorite films. I just don't know his name just off the rip. I believe it's Stanley. Whether it's vinyl records like our guy Stanley collects, this is the movie for you. I own this movie 3 times. Well, now 4. I own 1 DVD, which is given to me by Russell of Ukiah. I own 2 VHSs. And this is my 3rd VHS. This is very special because it's a sealed copy. It's a beautiful day when you find a sealed copy of one of your favorite flicks, right? For only $1. I don't like to brag about the prices I pay, so I don't want you guys out there getting envious and jealous. I'm not going to drone on and on about these tapes. I'm just going to run right through them. This is rollerblading. No newfound respect for rollerblades. The same respect I always have for rollerbladers back in the 90s is the same respect I have for rollerbladers in 2025. This movie's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Identity Crisis. It's one of those late 1980s movies that was filmed on a brick of cocaine. There's no other way to explain these kind of movies. They're, it says it right there, outrageous. Not in a good way. A totally outrageous action rapping comedy. This is bad. I mean, I knew when I bought this movie, I was like, why are you wasting your money on this crap? You didn't like these movies back in the 80s. Why would you all of a sudden like them now? What does he have, a joint? Why is he running? Someone's about to get punched. I had a dream last night that I got pulled over by a cop. He noticed a joint on my dashboard somehow. I haven't smoked weed in almost a year. I wouldn't get rid of this. Any movies I'm showing you, I have no intention on getting rid of them. I'm just talking about whether I like them or not, whether they're crap or not. Can never pass up on a Casper. That's my guy. The Ghost of Richie Rich. This was a great find right here. Great stoner film. Oh, you don't have to be stoned to enjoy it, but it helps. The Applegates. This is a screener copy. I was very excited when I found this for $2. At one time, it sold for $1 at Goodwill. Or excuse me, at Value Village. Value Village did not know what they had. Got the Mighty Ducks. I wasn't like, oh, the Mighty Ducks cartoon is on. I don't think any of us was. It was just something to watch. If I'm going to watch a duck cartoon back in the 90s, it's Darkwing Duck. You know what duck I hated? Plucky Duck. Okay, we got three bad brothers you know so well. And I'm not talking about the Migos or Run DMC. I'm talking about three ninjas. We got three ninjas, and we got three ninjas. Knuckle up. I need that three ninjas kick back. If you were a kid in the 1990s, these were your brothers right here. Okay? These are your brothers. You know, sometimes there's a music video like Macaulay Culkin in Black and White with Michael Jackson, right? The Group, another bad creation. This is just examples of, like, there's just sometimes the characters, they just hit it on the nose, you know, like they capture a time and place, and the people in that time and place it's a reflection of them. Like, as corny and cheesy as he is, Grandmaster B, Bud Bundy, that's exactly how kids were in the 90s. As cheesy as his character may be. Yeah, Three Ninjas were those guys, you know? It's like we were already fans of teenage. They captured it. It says it right here on the front, right? It says, crosses Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Home Alone. Okay? Like, that's exactly like what kids of the early 90s were looking for. It was hard to say no to this. And once you had it in your possession, on that Friday night, after coming back from Hollywood video, which are, for me, it's always 3 tapes, okay? Always 3 tapes. And that was one of them. That was my limit. I don't know why. It wasn't a money thing. It just always seemed like a nice round number, like 3 tapes is all I needed to get me through the weekend. I'd get back home with those 3 tapes and I wouldn't know which tape to watch first. Because my choices were always choice. We got Treasure Island. This is an animated version. We have Heart Like a Will. You want a good trilogy? There's a good trilogy right here. You go Heart Like a Will into Six Pack into Tomboy. Like, they all kind of hit the same notes. They're about gearheads, female gearheads. Diane Lane and Six Pack being the female gearhead. Top 3 Kubrick films. 2001, The Shining, A Clockwork Orange. Those are my 3. Those are my big 3 right there. Okay, that's it for That's it for VHS. We already talked about this. Red Rock West. If I watch it again, it'll be my 7th time watching it in the last month. We got Leviathan. Well, are you going to talk about it? Just show what you got. I mean, I can. I'm not. All right. This right here, that vibe right there, right? Early Laserdisc. I can't pass on it. I got burned. Hard. The Laserdisc that's inside of this sleeve is The Secret Garden. And if there's anyone out there watching this who has a sleeve of The Secret Garden and Slumber Party 57 is inside, contact me. They call it do we have the description here? Let me read this out. Deborah Winger, urban cowboy and an officer and a gentleman, stars in the sexiest film ever made for adults about teenagers. It's Friday night, their boyfriends are out of town, and after a drive-in cruise and a private moonlight swim, 6 young lovelies decide to let it all hang out. Each will provide the others with a frank account of how she lost her virginity. In flashback, six bawdy tales spin out involving a gang of the most unlikely partners a young innocent could hope to encounter, including a moonshiner and a movie star. It's clear these lusty ladies like what they've learned and would love some more practice. And the stage is set for an hilarious interruption by an unsuspecting cat burglar. Great tunes from the glory days of rock and roll, including hits from The Platters, The Big Bopper, Paul and Paula, Bruce Channel, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Keep Slumber Party 57 swinging through video's naughtiest night. It was described as a sexy Grease or American Graffiti, one of the two. So you can, from the description, you can see how excited I was to find out there wasn't a laser disc that I wanted inside of this sleeve. But it's okay, because even if I knew it was like $1, even if I knew the movie wasn't inside it, the sleeve, right, I would have still bought it. Okay. Modern day Bonnie and Clyde. Modern day as in the 1990s. Yeah, modern. 30 years ago. This movie was tragic. Very relatable. I've been this guy. But when I'm in a relationship and I can see it's going down the path that this guy was on, I'm smart enough to make a U-turn and get the hell out of there. And it hurts. You know, it hurts. You're losing your girl because you're not as crazy as she wants you to be. And she ends up hooking up with someone who's going to take it to the limit and beyond. You feel inadequate. You're like, damn, I should have put my life on the line for this girl. No regrets. This is a great flick right here. Home movies. What's it about? Just Google. Look it up. Here's another flick about taking it to the edge. This guy went all the way, and he kept the dame to the end. Sorry to give away the ending. But at what cost? because the movie ends with like you're what, a certified nut job, dude. Okay, certifiable. This movie right here is timeless. You would have thought this was made yesterday. If you didn't know any of the actors in this movie that went on to become mega stars, Keanu Reeves being one of them, you might believe that this was filmed yesterday. Great flick. I knew it was going to be heavy. I had this in my collection for probably like 3 years, and I knew it was going to be heavy, and I kept avoiding it because sometimes I'm just not in the mood for heavy movies, man. My type of films are like cartoons. Cartoons like Star Chaser. Okay. It's one of those laser discs that just appeared. I can't tell you where I got it, when I got it. Movies like this, Remote Control. You know, I like movies with sex. Sex, not a lot of drugs. And definitely rock and roll. Of course, I love horror movies. This guy has no head. Well, he does have a head. It's in his lap. That's it for Laserdisc. All right, let's see. What's the topic of discussion? Let's talk about hunting tapes. Going out there in the wild, as I do. Everything I showed you was pulled from off the video hunting streets. Let's talk about second guesses and missed opportunities. You know, you might have a hot piece of ass in your hand, like this release, this videophonic sound. So it has videosonic sound. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you might pass up on this. And think about it, you know, because it might be priced at $6.99. You're like, $6.99. If it was $5.99, yeah, just an extra $1. Whew. You can't do it. Did you get home with your stack? Or the ones you chose that you spend no more than $18 on? Man, like, maybe on the way home you stopped at Jack in the Box, right? You got an Oreo milkshake. And while you're drinking the Oreo milkshake, you're like, I could have just drank water and it would have sufficed. I could have had that VHS tape I wanted, but I blew the money on an Oreo milkshake. And it just sits in your mind for a minute. You're just like, I should have got it. I came all the way out here and I passed on something that, you know, this is the reason why I got into collecting, to get the original releases. And when it's right there in my hand, I'm so spoiled. I'm spoiled and I'm cheap. Frugal. In my area, man, there's at least 7 to 8 places that I can just go out there right now and get tapes. So it's never like, there's never famine. There's always feast, okay? So you end up getting wrapped up in, like, I'll get it next time, or it'll eventually come around for less than $6.99. And like I said, you get back to your spot and you're like, could have had that. I should have that. So you end up having to make another trip. You have to make another trip. You have to go back for this tape. You're now on a quest to get this tape that you left behind. So you make that trek back about a week later. And you're for sure that who else would want 2001 A Space Odyssey? Who else besides me? I'm the only one who likes this movie, okay? There is another collector in this area who will want this tape. You go inside the record store or possible video store, if there's any around still. And you make a beeline to where that tape sat. You come around the corner. There's this feeling inside, this anxiety that it ain't gonna be there. Maybe you manifest that. Maybe it was there and God just magically made it disappear. Walter Matthau's character in this movie is so lame. Walter Matthau is not a pimp, okay? He was miscast is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, you round the bend, walk down that aisle. Pretty woman, ghost, empty spot. Where 2001 Space Odyssey was, there's now nothing. You missed out. Or it's still there, okay? It could also still be there. It's happened where it's like, oh, there you go, it's still there. And then while you're here, you're like, well, since I'm here and I'm already spending $6.99, you know what? Let's make my budget $20. What's $20? And then you add on more tapes that they really, honestly, didn't even want. They weren't holy grails. They're just, you're greedy at this point. For myself, I filmed my hunts. My recent hunt where I got like the Slumber Party 57 and Earthquake, which we're watching, I didn't film, okay? I wanted, it's like skaters, man. Like, the skaters, they don't have to film, but they film because there's other skaters who want to watch skate videos like them. Like they also want to watch skater videos, right? You want to watch, but you don't want to produce, okay? So, man, sometimes I just like, I don't want to film a video. I want to hunt, okay? I want to hang out with me and hunt. I don't want a phone in my hand, or even if I had a camera strapped to me, I don't even want to do that because I don't feel like I'm being natural. It's hard to be natural when the camera is filming. Like even now, I'm trying to be naturalistic as hell. Naturally, I'll just sit here not talking to myself. Unnatural me is narrating my misadventures in the video hunting streets. So yeah, times I have filmed and gone over my footage and realized that I missed out on a grill. You want to reach inside of you want to reach inside the video and smack yourself for not seeing that, because you're so in the zone of hunting and filming that you can't focus like you would. You feel like there's a time constraint. This happened to me once with Buckaroo Bonsai, which I'm not a huge fan of. But for the price, I wish I got it. It was only 50 cents. I ended up making a return to that store and it was still there. So recently, I noticed that I missed out on Stay Tuned on VHS. And I shall return. Things that are special to me that don't mean anything to you. Things that have been in my life, all my life, that once they're gone, they'll just be something that will end up at a flea market, thrift store, or eBay, or in the trash. This isn't mine, but I'm curating it. This is my sister's. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. My sister has given up her right to call this hers, okay? If it was hers, it'd be with her, okay? My sister had a Superman, you know the photo, like the promotional photo of Christopher Reeves, where he's just standing there, I think the American flag is in the back or something? My mother had that. Bought that for probably like $80 back in the 80s. Huge framed photo. And my sister gave it to someone. That was in our home for years. My sister gave it away. You would think she appreciates stuff like that, but this is Supergirl, the storybook. Now, I've come across things like this at flea markets, and they didn't resonate with me because they weren't mine. They always felt like they belonged to someone else. But this was ours. They used to sell stuff like this at Safeway or Lucky's or Rayleigh's, whatever your local grocery store was. So yeah, this has been in our family since 1984. Speaking of Superman, now this is something I just recently purchased where it doesn't like, it doesn't have the same feeling as that Supergirl because it's not mine. This belonged to somebody else. But I still bought it because of the retro vibes. Superman. The real Superman, the one and only, Christopher Reeves. All right. I'm gonna sit back, have another cup of coffee, watch 2 movies at once over here, 9 to 5, over there, Earthquake, and enjoy the next couple hours before I have to head out. Thank you for tuning in to Hella Weird Video, Episode 1, Season 1, Episode 1.